advanced tools to help you get the right room and the perfect table at Disney World. This is Go Inform Podcast, episode 29. Hello, everyone. Great to have you here with me today on the show. My name is Maven. I am the hostess here on the Go Inform podcast. And today we are talking about how to score the perfect table and the right room when you are planning your trip at Disney World. And I'm really happy to have the chance to tell you guys about a couple of tools that I have used myself and that occurred to me just a few weeks ago that it'd probably be great for you guys to know about this stuff too. So these are some tools that one of my favorite websites, touringplans.com, offers to their subscribers. And these are super powerful tools that can really help you dial in the experience that you have when you visit Disney World. So today we're going to talk about that and how to use them and how they work and all of that to help you guys have the best vacation ever. And so I'm going to launch right into what these tools are and how they work. Show notes are going to be at goinform.net/29, and I'm going to have a lot of step-by-step instructions and screenshots and all that sort of stuff over in the show notes. So this is one where you may, if you want to try using one of these tools or both of them, you may want to hop over to the show notes and take a look and get even more detail about how it all works. So the thing that got me thinking about using these tools was a couple of episodes ago on episode 27, I was talking about how you can use a really early morning breakfast reservation to get into an empty Disney World theme park. And one of the things that I mentioned is that it can be tricky sometimes to get the reservation at the time you want. You can usually accomplish this, but sometimes it takes a little doing to try to get just the right time you want. It takes some refreshing your browser and checking in a lot and just a little bit of luck sometimes to get the reservation you need. And then I just happened to be on the Touring Plans website the other day, and I realized that they have a tool that will do a lot of this for you. And I thought, I bet a lot of my listeners would really like to know about this. So that is kind of what happened and how I decided to do this episode all about that. So this is a little bit more advanced in terms of theme park hacks than I usually talk about. So for any of you guys who are still just kind of trying to get the basics about what to expect when you visit Disney World, this one may be a little advanced. Please feel free to listen, but I really recommend a couple of sort of prerequisite episodes to make sure you have some understanding about how dining reservations work at Disney World. And we're also going to be talking about hotel reservations today. So episodes 11 and 12 are really basic information about making dining reservations at Disney World and hotels and where to stay and all of that kind of stuff. So if you haven't listened to those, or if you're not really familiar with what your options are at Disney World in terms of these bookings, I would recommend that either before or after this, you go back in the archives and give those episodes a listen. They should give you a nice foundation for helping you get ready to make your own reservations for your trip. All right. So as I mentioned, there's two different tools that I'm going to tell you about today. One is called the Dining Reservation Finder, and the other one is a room request service. And both of these are available to subscribers of the touringplans.com website. And Touring Plans is not paying me to tell you guys to subscribe to their website. I just happen to think that in terms of bang for your buck, when you are planning a big vacation like a trip to Disney World, getting the information that's going to help you have a better trip, it can really be worth it to pay a little subscription fee to have access to tools like this. And touringplans.com, their subscription fee, at least right now when I'm recording this in June of 2018, it's like $15 for a whole year to use their service. And not only does it include the tools I'm going to tell you about today, but they have tons and tons of information for planning your trip. They have tips. They have crowd calendar, just super detailed crowd calendar information. And their app is amazing. And if you're a subscriber, you get extra services in the app as well. So if you've listened to most of the other Disney World episodes, you probably have already heard me suggest that getting over to touringplans.com and becoming a subscriber is a really smart idea when you're planning a trip to Orlando. They also have a Universal Orlando subscription that you can add to your Disney World subscription. It's like $4 more for a whole year, and gives you tons of stuff related to Universal as well. So I really do recommend that this is something that you consider just throwing a tiny bit of money at to really enhance your trip. And the other thing that's cool is Touring Plans is part of the organization that produces the unofficial guidebooks, which I also really think are awesome. And if you have a current copy of an unofficial guide, then they give you a discount on their subscription. So it takes a few dollars off. So it's even less to have the website subscription if you have one of the books. So I will have in the show notes, I will have links to, obviously it's just touringplans.com. So you probably don't really need a link to that if you can spell it out. But also I'll put links, Amazon links to the books. So if you want to pick up one of those awesome guidebooks, you can order that through Amazon. So I hope this doesn't just sound like a big ad for Touring Plans today, but I'm afraid it kind of is, because I really do think it is a amazing service that they offer. And these two things alone that we're going to talk about can really be worth your subscription just to have this. So enough said about the wonder of touringplans.com. Let's talk specifically about what these tools can do for you. All right, so first we're going to talk about dining reservations. So dining reservations at Disney World, it depends on when you're traveling, but dining reservations can be tricky when it's a busy time of year, or if you want to eat at a especially popular restaurant at an especially popular time of day. And the way that you book reservations at Disney World, the main way to get your reservations is through the website or the app. It's kind of like an open table sort of an interface. And if you search for a certain time, a certain restaurant, and it's not there, then you're just going to have to keep going back and looking to see if maybe something will open up. And, this does work lots of times. Things will open up even last minute to get you into the restaurant that you want at the time you want. But it's a hassle to have to keep checking back, and it's kind of hit or miss. And so there is an amazing service that Touring Plans offers called the Dining Reservation Finder. And basically what this is, it's like an online restaurant reservation concierge. How it works is that you go into Touring Plans, you log into your account, and there is on your dashboard at the bottom of the page, there's a little thing you can click for the reservation finder. And it pops up a box, and you can put in the however exact you want to be, but you can put in the reservation that you're looking for. And what it will do is their computers will just go in the background and they will just watch. They will watch the Disney World reservation system to see if anything opens up that matches your request. And when something opens up, because almost always something is going to open up that they're going to spot, the computer will notify you that your reservation is available. So you can be notified by text or email or both. And what happens is that you will get this notification and it will say, your Be Our Guest 8 o'clock reservation for 4 people on the date you want just came open. And when you get that notification, you can jump on to the reservation service at Disney and book your reservation. You don't have to keep going back and looking and checking and looking and checking endlessly to see if it becomes available. The computer does it for you. And this is a really, really cool service that they offer. And it is the way that if you just listen to my episode about breakfast reservations and you're going next week and you don't have that reservation yet, this is the way that you might be able to get it, because it is amazing how many things open up over the course of days and weeks. And most of us, we miss it because obviously we have other things to do, but the computer doesn't have anything else to do, and it is happy to just sit there and watch and wait for you. So this is a very powerful service that you can use. Now, a couple things to know about it. Okay, first of all, on the website, on my show notes, there will be instructions about how to do this and you can look at screenshots to see what the actual form that you fill out looks like. So you can definitely head over to the show notes and see all the actual little minutia about this. One of the most important things to keep in mind about this is that the reservation finder only finds the reservation for you. It cannot make the reservation for you. So what you've got to do is you got to be ready when you get that notification to jump onto the Disney website and get the reservation. In my experience, if you take 5 or 10 minutes or whatever to turn around getting on the website, the reservation's probably still going to be there for you. So it really does work even with our slow human reaction to it. Usually you can still snag the reservation after the computer alerts you. And Touring Plans does a nice thing with it. When they send the notification, there's actually a link in the notification that takes you straight to that reservation page on the app or on the website. So you may have to still log into your Disney account, which will slow you down a little bit, but it will actually jump straight to that reservation. So you can kind of just hit the button and reserve it. So they do try to make it easy for you. If you can't get that turned around fast enough, because here's the other thing, the computer works all around the clock, all day, all night, and sometimes the notification will come into you in the middle of the night and you won't see it until the next morning, and by then you missed booking it because someone else scored that reservation. But you can go back. It's really easy. You can just go back into the Touring Plans site, hit the refresh button, and restart the search. And then the computer will start again, and trust me, it will probably pop up another reservation for you in the next couple of days. So you can restart it, but if you get the notification and you're able to, you're going to want to jump on right away and make that booking. Okay, also, the reservation finder is meant to help you get reservations that you couldn't otherwise just hop on to the Disney site and book yourself. So always try to book your dining reservations first by yourself on the website with Disney, because you're only able to search for 2 different dining reservations at once using this reservation finder. So use it for the hard to get reservations or the things that either you weren't able to book and you were trying to book, or if you decided maybe a last minute reservation and you're actually at Disney World and you decide that the day after tomorrow you want a Chef Mickey's breakfast or something like that, and they're all booked up, then that's a really good time to get on and let the computer do the searching for you. And hopefully it will pop up a reservation so you can get there and enjoy the meal that you really wanted to have. One other note about this tool is in beta testing according to the Touring Plans website, which means that it could go away. I hope not, but that's a possibility. And if it's in beta testing, that means there could be glitches. I've used it before, not just recently, but in the past as well. And it's always worked okay for me, which is why I'm telling you guys about it. But just so you know, they do say it's in beta testing. So go over and help them test it. And I really think that this can be a great way to take some of the pressure off yourself with your planning for your trip. Because if you just know that this tool is working in the background to try to get those reservations for you, then that's one less thing that you have to be trying to physically check on all the time. You can just wait for that notification and book it. All right. And I probably left some other details out in telling you about the dining reservation finder. So anything that I think is important for you to know that I either said or didn't say, I'll put it in the show notes. So if this is something you want to use, do check out the show notes. They're at goinformed.net/29, and I will try to keep them updated. And I do also have a comment section over there where you can leave questions or comments. So if there's something you're wondering about that I haven't covered, please let me know, and I'll try to add that in so that everybody can have all the information that they need in order to use this amazing trick. So there's a second tool that I want to tell you about today, and this is also on Touring Plans, and this is a room request service for Disney World resorts. And this is also a really powerful tool that you can use to, really dial in a reservation that you have. What this tool enables you to do is to actually preview the view from and location of your room before you get to Disney World and request a specific room for your stay. This is awesome whether you've already booked your room and you know exactly, what hotel you're in and what room type you have. And it's also really great if you're trying to decide where you want to stay or what kind of a room you want in a certain hotel. So Touring Plans, one of the things Touring Plans is known for is they just have an incredibly huge database all about Disney World. And this includes pictures that are the view from every single room in every single Disney World hotel. Don't ask me how they manage this, but you can go on this room request tool and you can click on any room and you can see what the view looks like out the window of that room. And this is super cool if the view is important to you in terms of where you stay. But the other thing that you can find out about the room is how far it is from the bus stop, how far it is from the lobby, what floor is it on, is it quiet? There's a number of different parameters that you can really dial in your room location to meet exactly the kind of thing that you're looking for. And it's called a room request tool because after you get on the room request tool and you put in all the parameters of what kind of room it is and that you want, how far from the bus stop you'd like to be, and so forth, you actually can choose a specific room and you can have a request sent to Disney requesting that room. And Disney accepts room requests by fax about 5 days before someone comes for a stay. And this is a service that travel agents can do for their clients. You can do it on your own as well if you want, but touring plans, they have it really dialed in and they will automatically send this out on your behalf and request the room that you want. It doesn't always work. Obviously, it's a request. So Disney, it depends on how full the hotel is and if someone else is already staying in that room. But it does usually get you very close. If not the exact room, it gets you very close to it. So it's a really powerful tool, a great way to dial in your reservation and get you the room that you really want to have. This only works at Disney World on-site hotels that are run by Disney. So if you're staying off-site or if you're staying in one of the non-Disney run hotels, then this isn't going to work. But if you're staying in any of the I think it's almost 30 or so Disney hotels on site at Disney World, then you can send this request. So let me tell you a little bit about how the tool works and how you can use it to make a decision about where you want to stay and what kind of a room type you want to book. Because if you get on the Disney World website to book your room, you're going to notice that not only are there just a ton of different hotels, but also if you get into booking a room at any one hotel, there's usually a lot of different options for the room type. So some hotels might have a standard room, a preferred room. Some hotels might have a pool view or a lake view or even a Magic Kingdom view. So there's a lot of different options, and the website, the Disney website's not very good at explaining the differences. So this room request service will show you exactly what you need to know about these different rooms. So what I did, and you can look at it on the website in the show notes, I just gave you an example of what it looks like if you were going to book a room at the Contemporary Resort. When you get onto the room request tool, what it does is it gives you a whole bunch of different drop-down boxes to dial in exactly what kind of room you're looking for, what hotel it's at, and so forth. It asks you which hotel, so I put in the Contemporary, and then it asks you room type. Well, that hotel has at least a dozen different room types. So it's just a drop-down menu, and it will show you every room type that's in that hotel. So even if you haven't booked the hotel yet, you can go into this tool and you can click whichever room type you want to see what it's like. So I had fun and I put in a Magic Kingdom view room because that's like total dream place to stay for me. So I want to see what that looked like. So you can put in whichever type of room type you're trying to see what it looks like. And then there's other things that you can request. So you can say, I want to be, less than 10 minutes from the bus stop, or I think it's like 7 minutes less than 7 or whatever. And so you can put the distance from the transportation. You can put the distance from the lobby that you would like. And like I said, a couple other things. Quiet room, I think, is one. Accessibility. So you can stick in all these different parameters, these filters for dialing in the location of the room. And then there's a button that says show matching rooms, and you click on this. And if anything matches your parameters, okay, this is one thing to know. Not every room is going to be 3 minutes from the bus stop and have a view of Magic Kingdom and, whatever. So you may have to play around with it a little bit to match your room type that you're looking for. But once you get that in there, it will pop up a map of the hotel, and it will pop up some pictures that are attached to different rooms at that hotel. So you get a little list of 3 different rooms that pop up, and you can see a picture of the view out the window of that room, and you can see the other details about the room. So to actually say the room number in the hotel, it will say the distance, all those other things, the distance to transportation and whatever. And it will even say the usual price for that room, which is pretty interesting. And you can look at these rooms side by side. For some types of rooms, it doesn't matter. You're looking at the pool or whatever, no matter which room it is. But in some hotels that are really spread out, so a place like Pop Century that has a lot of different buildings, they may have standard rooms in every building, but you can say, I want to be as close to the bus stop as possible, and then it will show you what those rooms are. So this is going to give you a lot of control over the location that you have at the hotel. And if you are just exploring and trying to decide, do I need to book a preferred room or a standard room going to get me what I want? Then you can see it, because when you when you put in all these filters to choose the room, you'll be able to tell if the room type that you're looking at is going to give you the location and the other amenities that you really want with the room, with the location of the room where you're going to stay. And you can see more than 3 options. If there are more than 3, you can refresh it. And you can go back and play around with the filters and try a different room type. If you still haven't booked your room, if your room is booked and you know your room type, then you can play around with distance to transportation to try to get it as close as possible, or, whatever it is that is important to you, you can dial it in as best as possible based on what kinds of rooms there are at that resort. And once you have it figured out, and you know which room you want, then there's a button at the top of the page where the picture is that has a link that says request this room, and you click that, and it will automatically put you in the queue to send the fax to Disney 5 days before your trip. And there may be some other information Touring Plans needs from you. If you haven't already given them your confirmation number and the name that the room is under, they're going to need to know that. If you put that in when you set up your trip in your dashboard, then it's a one-click thing, and they will just send that request off to Disney when it's time. Also, you can add into the fax that goes out to Disney, you can add extra information. So if you're celebrating a birthday, or it's your honeymoon, or you have something special that you want Disney to know about, you can note that in the fax that goes out from Touring Plans, so they get that information too before you even arrive at the hotel. Make sure that you do this more than 5 days before your trip, so that there is time for the fax to go out. So that's one tip about this. And another thing is, if you have booked your hotel with a travel agent, this is the kind of service that your travel agent can provide as well. They can send the request, but you can still use this tool to really figure out, which room it is that you want your travel agent to request. And then you can give them that information and have them send the request. I think it's really cool that Touring Plans offers this service. I can't believe they don't charge extra for it, because it is just really cool to be able to see what these different rooms are like. Even, when you're far away from Florida, to be able to kind of get a preview like this is a really cool service that you can get if you're a subscriber at Touring Plans. So you guys, that is all that I have for you today. I want to thank everybody who's written a review. Thank you so much. And if you have time to go over to iTunes and write a review, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. And don't forget, all those show notes are at goinform.net/29. And I really hope you all have a splendid vacation.